Hi, welcome to A Dash of Life. Well, I'm your host, Dash, and today we'll be talking to a friend of mine, Dusty. But first, welcome to the show. I hope you guys have been enjoying in the last few weeks. I know, uh, I know I've been trying to have a good time doing this, and I'm hoping that all my guests have been having a good time doing this. So, a little bit about Dash of Life, if you haven't watched before or if you're new and things like that. This is a show about my friends, Dash's friends, and things that they're doing in their lives to better themselves or, whether it be starting a job or a new job or own business or writing a book, things of that nature. It's just fun to get out there and talk to my friends and let you see a little bit about what they do. Uh, I I don't care how many times I've been doing this lately. I feel so nervous every time, like the butterflies are just creeping up in me, and I'm just like, oh, I get scared. But hopefully, as it continues on, things will get easier, and I'll actually learn how to do computers and electronics and things like that. Uh, but man, we've had some great shows the past few weeks. Again, I want to give a shout out to Trishelle Moore, to Monica, Leslie, and Leo, my first four guests. Man, what a great lineup I've had so far. And I've been posting the lineup that's coming on, that you'll be able to see coming up in the next few weeks. We've got some great guests. Kevin, I got Jennifer Whitlow from high school. Uh, Things like that. So it's going to be great. I got people that are out there uh, being food bloggers. Marcus, I hope that we'll be able to get you on soon as well, so we can talk about your food blogging. But thank you for joining tonight. Again, man, I couldn't do this without you guys watching. Uh, it's been a blast. I have to say that the other night my son was like, "Wow," he's like, "Man, you're almost like Jimmy Kimmel." And I was like, "Wow, that's a pretty good compliment." I said, "But the one thing different, or Jimmy Fallon, I should say." I said, "The one thing different between me and Jimmy Fallon is I actually let my guests talk." So, with that being in mind, I'm going to bring up my guest tonight, Dusty Maugh. Man, I've known this guy 20 years or more, uh, and what they say about the military is you learn and meet interesting people who will come into your lives one day and maybe gone the next. And I've had a lot of friends like that have just, they've come into my life and they've gone. But with this man here, man, he's been a constant in my life for the past 20 years. A friend, a mentor, a boss, co-worker, you name it. This man has been pretty much constant in my life. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to do some of the things that I've got to do and experience throughout my career in the military and even out of the military. So I'm going to bring him on. So give me just a moment to get this set up. We got him invited, and we're adding him here. And again, man, the military, meet a lot of people, and uh, you just hope that they stay in your lives for a long time. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. Uh, Dusty, come on. Uh, One of the things I will say about Dusty is, though, I got to meet almost as many OU alumni as I possibly could working for this man. He was my boss at the working for CDC, who was they were doing security for the OU football games, home games, and I think I got to meet almost every alumni that could possibly walk through there. So uh, looks like we're having some technical difficulties again. Stand by. I'll try this one more time. I need to get a. There we go.
We're on?
I think I think we finally got it working there.
Hey. All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, it's we've known each other a long, long time for sure. Uh, I was just telling him, I don't know if you were on, but I was just telling him about how I got. If it wasn't for you, I would probably not got to meet 90% of the OU alumni that for working the security at the football games. Like, I mean, and so that was like, you made my dreams come true right there, setting that up. And
We had a lot of fun in those
oh
things.
yeah. So I know you've watched a few times, but to kind of go over this, just what Dash Life is about is just I want to celebrate my friends and the things that they've accomplished throughout their lives and things that they're doing now. This pandemic has really gotten the best of me, I think, at times where I feel closed in, and so I started this so I could talk to my friends again a little bit more.
Right.
So why don't you, introduce yourself to my friends here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, before I get into that, my first question to you, and it's been on my mind. Do you call your producer Mrs. Dash?
Yes, the producer is Mrs. Dash. Yes, that's.
So she's the one that brings all the flavor to the show,
yes,
right?
I knew I was going to get some. You've been waiting for that for a long time, and I appreciate that. But yes,
it
Mrs.
just kind
Dash.
of presented itself, Oh wow, my name's Dusty Maugh. Yes, this man we've spent the old phrase we've spilled a lot of the same blood and a lot of the same mud is just, I mean, the last 20 years between it. It's funny. I got to tinker back in 2001, and you kind of know how two alphas spot each other from across the room, and they're like, I don't know about this guy. I had just come from Lackland, so I was pretty much stuck on myself.
Right.
And you were in quality control, which means you were stuck on yourself.
Absolutely.
So when two stuck on themselves type A's meet each other from across the room, one of two things can happen. And it just kind of grew into from there. And you never know what direction your life is going to take. But I have to say, probably out of all my military contacts, probably one of the very few, if not the only, that I've really kept constant contact with. And us vets out in the world, it's like fitting a square peg in a round hole. A lot of times it's hard to find those people that relate to you, and when you do, you just kind of hang on to them wherever they go. But wow, a little bit about me. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. We now, that house that we lived in the whole time I was at Tinker, we sold that house 3 years ago. We had the thought that we were going to move to this little place in Belize called Ambergris Key.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of went by the wayside. Now we're homesteading about 2 or 3 miles outside of McLeod. And we're just living and loving our best life.
Yeah.
We like to say we're living life through joy and abundance, and we're putting in the work.
Yeah.
My
wife would really enjoy knowing that you're doing the homesteading. She really wants to be a minimalist and things like that. So if over the next few weeks you start seeing garage sales and yard sales, it's probably because she's wanting me to get rid of my my stuff. But no, I kid. What is it like being like homesteading and things like that? What is the joy it's brought to you?
The joy it's brought to us is when you said this pandemic has really got me down. I was about to say, what pandemic? I've got Fox News on in the background just because I like to keep up a little bit on what's going on. I like to know who's coming down my road. But we're to the point. Oh well, joys of homesteading. We had we had a real large fire the other day, and thankfully the only thing that burned up was all my guns. All my guns got burned up.
That's
We've got chickens. The other day we had a big rainstorm out here, so we didn't gather any eggs. The next day we literally went and got 39 eggs in 2 days.
wow, crazy.
So chickens, bees. We're going to be getting goats. We're on well water, so we have no water bill. Our next big thing is looking how to go completely solar, so we have no utility bill. We're living in like a converted shop that we've turned into a ranch cabin. So we'll be, minus our land payment, we'll be completely debt free in probably the next year or two.
Right.
I mean, nothing, no bills.
Yeah.
So a minimalist or homesteading lifestyle, you know, because, well, let me backtrack. So out of the military, that's when I really decided to get all my education going.
Right.
Went and got my bachelor's degree from SNU. Then, you know, we crossed paths again at Heritage and got my personal training degree, and actually had the privilege of teaching there for a while before they shut down. Then came to work for you at the gym. When that kind of fell through, I went the finance route. I'm not finished, but I'm like on my way to my financial planner's degree. Right. So being a finance guy and a homesteader are kind of clash.
I was gonna say, isn't that a like an oxymoron type thing?
That's definitely an oxymoron. So in my mind, I'm like, invest, 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 and in my homesteading brain, I'm like, keep your cash in your sock drawer.
Right. Because
you never know, you know, if the financial system collapses, then we're all going to be homesteading.
Right.
But yeah, it's been, and now I teach insurance pre-licensing classes in Oklahoma and in Missouri through Zooms.
Right.
It's like a 2-day, 18-hour class. You know, because insurance is so interesting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, you name it, just about anything, and I've probably dabbled in it.
Right.
I'm all about, you know, the average millionaire has 6 or 7 streams of income. So I'm always open for additional streams of income.
Something new and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. We're kind of dabbling in some things too. We've opened our own bookstore online. I hope to have it spread out further, and obviously now I'm trying to dabble in this talk show life, if you will, this podcast, to see how it goes. I'd like to, I don't know, someday I'd like to expand it to like 2 days a week, but I'm enjoying it right now. Like I said, it's I've got to get over this nervous stuff. My wife keeps saying, you got this nervous tick. You're always, or you're bebopping. And so, you know, I rewatch these things and rewatch the shows all over, just like figure out where I go.
That takes a lot of time, really. I mean, with all my, you know, as a TI, I was always under the microscope as far as my teaching. I mean, you want to talk about standing up in front of a room, teaching a bunch of knuckleheads how to do this or that, and you've got 8 blue rope instructors in the back room with a clipboard marking down every time you have a verbal pause. At the end, they say, well, you said and 39 times, you went 50 times, and you're like, I thought I did good. Now I have guilt. Now I don't. So, but I will tell you, the nervousness, you learn to adapt to it, but you're always going to be nervous.
Oh yeah, man. I just
what I like to say is I get those butterflies flying in formation, all go in the same direction. Because even with, I literally do Zooms or live training classes 4 times a month.
Right.
And I still get nervous before I come on.
Oh yeah.
That just means you're passionate. That just means you care about it.
I love talking to everybody, and it's great. Like I said, I've over the 20 years I've known you, you and I have been together on just about darn near everything. I mean, from on flight together, or working in the same job together, or you being my boss and I being your boss, or coworkers. And it's fun to, you know, see what you're doing. Like I love seeing the homesteading stuff, the bees. I got a little jealous when you're talking about uh, dipping your hand in there and getting fresh honey right out of the comb. It's
Oh
yeah.
man, that honey, I have no way to actually describe it until you try it. Store-bought honey is no
Yeah, no
comparison
comparison.
to right off the frame. We're hoping to start having a lot of honey next year. Um, we're just kind of letting them. We're kind of letting them
Yeah,
be. we're, we're letting them do what they do, and then hopefully by next year, it's kind of like you're doing right now. You're planting seeds. You may not have a whole lot of people watching, but this time next year, if you're still consistent, it's going to be a totally different ball game. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. Uh, that's what I told my son's like, man, if you again, it's if you get on YouTube, you're gonna. I said I'm not worried about the money. That's not it. It's not about. I told him. I sat down. And I said, if I can just change one person's life, if one person's life can be changed throughout this, if one person goes to Trichelle's gym, if one person uh, starts taking up photography because I had Monica on, or somebody starts taking up acting because Leslie, I've done my job. I just want people to see other people out there doing things, and it's not all about a boring mundane life. It's people are actually doing things fun and getting the jobs done. They're doing what they love to do and what they want to do, and that's what I told him. So I love it. And I hope someday that somebody will, my daughters will be like, Dad, you were awesome. And that's, I mean, I just want to leave them a legacy or something like that, I guess.
I got two words for you that most people on social media, when they hear these two words put together, they just cringe and they almost block you. And that's network marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And let me explain before everyone's like, oh, here we go. Network marketing, the true definition of the phrase, is getting a real bad rap. I mean, what we're doing right now, right here tonight, is network marketing. You have a network. I have a network. This is all about, I mean, everybody, well, I can't say everybody, but you remember back in the day of TQM when that old total quality management came about? Quality Air Force. What we're building right now is connection power.
Right.
All these people that we know that are in our network that we're marketing to, it's like, well, no, I don't know where you can get a hold of that, but I know a guy.
Yeah.
So the way network marketing has been used, everyone always thinks, well, you're about to pitch me your product. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I'm just building a network of people that are a bunch of subject matter experts that if I've got an issue, and that's the whole thing about homesteading. If you can't barter for it or you can't build it, go local and find the friends that you know that you can bless with, what they need.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Right here, this is a lot of networks for people that haven't necessarily been exposed to what we've been exposed to. I mean, one of the things I probably miss the most about the Air Force is being able to pick up the phone and get a hold of somebody if I needed something, or being able to walk down the hall and knock on somebody's door and it was all there.
Yeah, I
it's
can understand that. I think,
sense of belonging.
Yeah, I miss that too. I miss being able to, like you said, walk down the hall, get the information that I needed, and I feel like that's been lost. And I hope it comes back around. I do. I hope that people see that networking is just as important as anything else out there. But
Yeah.
well, I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for coming on tonight. It's good to see you. I hope we'll get together after all said and done, and you know, share a beer or two and have some laughs. So
You guys need to come out and see
thanks
the
for coming on,
place.
my friend. I will. I
Thank
definitely
you.
will. My wife is very interested in that, so I'm going to have her ask you some questions when she gets home. So, guys, I saw your questions on there. We'll get to those questions after the show is over. I'm still learning how to see all this stuff and do it all at once. But Cindy, I see you on there. You're awesome too. It's good to hear from you and what you've been going through. I'm my heart's out to you, and I'm glad everything is okay. So I'm going to say goodnight to Dusty. We'll get you back on again. Just want to say thank you. Have a good night, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
You're doing awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dusty. Man, what I don't know what the hardest thing is I feel like sometimes it's sitting here in front of the camera because you're trying to say what you want to say and then you get froze up. But I do. I miss all my Air Force guys. Talking to Dusty and I really just kicked it in. So if you guys are watching this, thank you. Thank you, Air Force. Thank you, military. Thank you for everybody I served with. It's a pleasure of knowing all of you guys. You guys have come into my life, done a lot of things, so I appreciate that. I've learned a lot from a lot of you along the road, and I deeply appreciate that. So before I sign off tonight, just remember, you know, chase your dreams. Don't let anything hold you back. Chase them. You know, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna mess up along the way. But if you don't mess up, you don't get better at it. So stick with your dreams. If it's you know, if it's opening your own business, stick with it. Fight through it. Do what I'm doing. Just get on Facebook and advertise. If you're writing that book, continue writing it. Get over the writer's block. Shoot, if you need something, if you need somebody to bounce ideas off of, just text me on Facebook and we'll talk about it. All I'm getting at is don't give up your dreams. Stick with it. If you fall, keep falling till you get it right. That's all I got to say. Again, thank you for coming out, spending the night with me on a Wednesday night. There's nothing better than watching and seeing you guys ask questions and say hello to me. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Remember, be kind to each other, love one another, and I will see you next Wednesday.